Good evening. We are here with a late night Wicked Dicey Mordheim stream featuring Corey versus Chris. I am your host, Emma, and I have no idea how this game is played. Really. I believe it's some sort of Games Workshop game with a massive cult following. Somebody's going to be really mad at all of the rules I get wrong because I don't even know, but I'm going to make them up as I go. They're currently testing the dice right now, weeding out the bad ones, finding the good dice for breeding purposes. Chris will be playing some sort of skink list, and we have Corey, who's a couple drinks in with his undead list of a whole bunch of zombies. He's got some dire wolves, some sort of vampire lord and necromancer in there. So he'll be running a vampire, a necromancer, uh, and a whole bunch of other things that I have no idea because his handwriting is just that atrocious. This man can run an event, but he cannot write a list. As for what's in Chris's list, I got no clue. I just saw this. There's a couple skinks on the table, but
Oh man, it's looking like a real game here.
it is. They're still working. They haven't deployed yet. They're still figuring out the dice, weeding them out.
It's a close one though, 0-0.
Now, I believe this game is fought over warp dice, but I could be wrong. Warpstone tokens and warpstone. Weirdstone. All right, correction. We've got Weirdstone we're fighting over. We've got a couple of drunks fighting over stones.
A lot of gray on the table. I don't know.
Yeah, I think Chris has some unpainted models too, so he's already a 10-point deficit from what I understand from GW games.
In his defense, he built all of those models about a half hour ago. So God bless him.
Wow, we have fresh Mordheim here right on the
This is it.
stream,
This is it.
coming right off the presses with freshly built models.
Steaming more time.
You built them up pretty nice. You know, you can build me up.
Build you up. Buttercup baby. Just to let you know.
You know, the game could have started, and I actually would have no idea.
I think he just put down a model.
All right, we got two dire wolves and some sort of body going right on the middle of the table here.
Deployment zones mean nothing in wartime. I love it. So how
Now,
much
Corey
more time?
came with his handwritten list, but he also brought zero models, so he's borrowing these from Mike Ackaby, who's
I love it.
playing in our wonderful AOSGT, streaming here on the Wicked Dicey channel all weekend, except when it's not streaming.
So how much more time have you played? Have you played much more time?
I have never played Mordheim. I have no idea how this game is played.
Me neither. All I know is everybody tells me it's great.
All I know is there's a handful of people that play this game, and it's the greatest game.
Yeah, every game that
But
that's all you need.
so Mordheim players will tell you this is the greatest game. Lord of the Rings players will tell you Middle Earth strategy battle game is the greatest game.
Guild ball players will tell you guild ball.
Guild Ball players will just kind of cry in the corner because they only have like 8 players if they're lucky.
I'm so sad about it. One day.
And 40k players are irrelevant because they're all just picketing right now.
People still play that?
I don't know. That game is so great they would have settled on edition right by now. 40k, just you think they'd get it right after all 9 editions, but maybe 10 will get it. All right, we are deploying some warpstone. It looks like, or weirdstone. Who knows? Now, I thought we had a 1v1 game going here, but it seems like both of our opponents also brought a partner for additional guidance or even misguidance in this case. So Samuel Gould is on the side of our Chris here, writing something on paper. I guess that's part of the game. And we also have Ryan over here standing next to Corey, giving him all sorts of bad advice. Table boss Cam is reviewing the rules. And hopefully I'll have some action here soon. We're now in a roll off for deployment. Corey is now deploying first. Deploying within 8 inches of a table edge. I assume this is part of the rules. And he's taking the side he is already on. What a twist. We have a Vampire Lord with heavy armor. We have some disagreements over whether we're actually going to just describe our list or not. Our players are now reviewing each other's what they call list and warbands. Excuse me, the Mordheim aficionados and connoisseurs. You know, I am the commentator, Cam, and these are going to be called gangs. Corey, as the actual runner of these events, has actually brought a what you see, what you can get. But you know, when you run the event and you're the boss, you're allowed to just take other people's models, and they can't do anything about it. It's just the perks. Yeah. Italian lizards. Whew. So apparently Chris is going to be waving his hands a lot in the air as he talks this game. So much like a GW stream, nobody has any idea what is going on here. Hmm? Doesn't matter how many viewers we had. Your mom's gonna watch this back later, and she's gonna be so proud of you, son. Except the part when you lose. Yes. So while we may be live on the YouTubes, you could also be watching back at a later date. In which case, I feel really sorry if you're watching this. I mean, ooh, we are actually glad to have you here for the late night Mordheim stream. So Corey has finished his deployment. Chris is initially deployed his army, but has realized it is a really bad deployment. So he is now repositioning his skinks. Our players are now having a debate over whether a dire wolf is a dog. As the commentator here, I believe a wolf is a kind of dog. So I will be making an executive ruling here with my commentating privilege and rule a dire wolf as a dog. We have finally reached the end of deployment, and we are rolling off to see who goes first. Corey has rolled a 1. He is not only bad at Warhammer, he is bad at Mordheim too.
All right, I'm gonna yell. I'm gonna yell at these kids. All right, so here's how the turns work. You guys all be quiet. You check to see if anybody's knocked down or stunned. You don't have anybody knocked down or stunned. Cool. So you skip past that part. Then you. Okay. Then you would declare a charge if you wanted to. Okay. You cannot pre-measure. This isn't a modern game. You have to look at the table and eyeball it. Okay. That's definitely more than 12 inches. I can tell you that. So a charge will be twice your movement speed. So how far does this guy move? 6 inches?
Skinks? No, hold on.
What is this Saurus card?
4.
All right, so he has an 8-inch charge distance. So like something like this, right? Yeah, you can't pre-measure it. So you're gonna say, I don't have any charges to declare.
No charges.
If you were to charge, right, you would declare all your charges and then you'd measure all of them at the same time, make sure you made your charges. Same goes for shooting. If you're like, I'm gonna shoot that guy, you don't get to measure before you get to shoot him. You have to eyeball it. Okay? Why is this in my face? No, I'm good. Um, cool. Now you go to the movement phase. You're just straight up moving. Yes, you charge before you move. So movement phase. So everybody can move a normal move, which is listed on your character sheet. So like 4 or 6 inches. If you want to, you can advance basically a run, which just doubles your move, up to double, right? So like if you have a 6 inch move, you can go up to 12. You cannot shoot or like you can't like basically charge anybody. You also cannot run if you're within, I believe it's 8 inches. 8 inches. Um, So basically, at this point, you're so far away, you're just gonna move. You're gonna double move. You're gonna go wherever you want to go. There's difficult terrain, so like if you want to try to climb stuff, that's a check you have to make. But otherwise, you're probably just gonna filter in through the street. So go ahead and start moving your guys. No, only if you like are climbing up this face.
Do I lose a half an inch for going up?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Are you ready? Ready for it back?
That was our table boss, Cam, explaining the rules of the game for our players, laying down the absolute law. And it looks like Chris is into his movements now. Corey has proven he is a professional drinker here and is now having a philosophical debate here with himself about the consent of his own birth. Yeah. The lamentations of their women is best in life, Chris. So we have now in our movement phase, and the question has now come up if you can. When do you cast spells in this game? So these players always thinking ahead, asking the right questions at the right times. And there are perils in this game, which I am sure we will see a lot of on Corey's side. And Chris is eager to get to his spell, his Blessing of Sotek, which apparently just gives him buffs. What buffs they are, who knows?
All the spells are
Maybe somebody knows because I'm sure somebody knows the
rolls are
rules.
caps
But
on eights and nines, and there's no pluses to have to roll.
fantastic, eights and nines are what most of the spells apparently go off on, with no bonuses. And we just have a 12 on the dice, so you don't even need to know what your spell goes off on if you just roll 12 on your dice. You know, Sun Tzu once wrote in The Art of War, if you just roll sixes, you win. So he's now rolling a d6 to see what happens. He's adding plus one to hit in close combat. They're now reading the spell after telling us what it does. And there's no pre-measuring allowed here. How dare you? I mean, at that point, do you even measure, or do you just move your model and think,
So
that's good
you
enough?
declare a charge, and you're like, I think I'm within charge range, and then you measure to see if you are indeed
That's
within charge
that's
range
how it should work
in
in
Sigma.
in Sigmar. Your guesstimation should be on point.
You'd be surprised how bad you are at estimating things. You're like, yeah, that's 8 inches. Oh, that's like 15.
I mean, if you couldn't pre-measure in Age of Sigmar, I think all of the guys would instantly be even worse because they'd always be saying, "Yo, I think that's 6 inches." And let me tell you,
Yeah,
women would be so much better
telling
at
on
playing Age of Sigmar if you couldn't pre-measure.
telling on yourself.
So it looks like Corey is now moving. Corey, as always, having some difficulty getting upstairs. Josh Hankin wisely not here for the stairs. Apparently, everything in 5th edition Warhammer, from what I'm hearing, was done in people's minds. Much like the people that were living underground in Planet of the Apes with the giant heads, that was a 5th edition Warhammer player. big old heads, and all of the apes were the Age of Sigmar fans coming. In about an hour, we'll get back to Chris's turn after these zombies finish moving. So another about 59 minutes left until Chris's turn here. We're just winding down the clock. We will point out to Corey that we actually do have to play a game here this morning at 9:30 on this table. So if you would like to pick up the pace on these zombies. How do you know it's 12 inches if you haven't pre-measured it?
Chris, your turn. Go. Oh, all right.
It's now back to Chris's turn. Look at that, zombies in record speed. Oh. Here. Thought we had a roll for priority, but they got me.
Actually, Skinks could charge 12 inches. That might be a little more than 12 inches.
Now we have a debate on whether we're charging skinks or not. Chris believes he understands what 12 inches looks like.
That's the point. I'm out of 8-inch range. There's a lot of. There's too many dick jokes in this game. So how does climbing work? Maybe there's not, and we're just making them.
Corey is making all sorts of dick jokes. I believe he thinks he's playing Slanesh here, but we will have to inform him he's in fact not. He is going to find his true calling at the end of this game. That Slanesh is his army.
Cam fucking speared me, and I was just like, "That's fine. That's fine." I thought that was a cup of coffee. All right, we're gonna go to movement. It's a cup of sliders, and that's better. Way better.
And Travis, the MVP of Wicked Dicey, has brought a cup of White Castle burgers. A cup of White Castle burgers. We are not measuring them in any other quantity. We need a camera shot of what a cup of White Castle burgers look like. So this is peak White Castle right here. We are not sponsored by White Castle, but you know, if you're out there, if you're out there, you can find our contact info. You can also contact Wicked Dicey on Twitter if you want to be sponsor our stream at Wicked Dicey. Hello at Wicked Dicey is the email. Hello at wickeddicey.com. So if you're out there, White Castle rep.
So, trade offer. We have like 5 viewers. In exchange, we get like 6 White Castle sliders.
You know, we're just looking for some White Castle sliders. You'll get absolute coverage on our stream. Might look a little small right now, but videos will be live on YouTube or posted there. So you can watch a live replay.
Extra pickles and drenched in ketchup.
I, so apparently here, if he wants to shoot, he gets half a movement. I believe it's 8-inch range on his spears, if I recall. Yep, 8 inches on the spears. I'm already a pro at this game. And typically you're -1 to hit unless you're at half range. But I'm understanding that javelins do not have a penalty. So but they will have a movement penalty. So you're now moving up the skinks. You can't see them, but they are where his hand is on the left of the screen. There are two skinks moving up because he wants to get into one of those dire wolves there at the bottom of the steps on the left of your screen. Fortunately, we cannot zoom our camera out any further, but if we were able to get that White Castle sponsorship, we might be able to get a better camera here.
Is it off camera?
So they're now shoving him over so we can see them. We have two skinks on the board. We can see them. There has now been an earthquake in the town that has shifted everything over. It might have been the second impact.
Oh, perfect.
Oh. They're maintenance. Because comets, as they're floating through the cosmos, they do break up as they do travel amongst the stars. So the remnants of that comet have and the tail have impacted and shifted our table over. Chris is now trying to move it. We have a disagreement over the movement.
But we're playing Legion.
So apparently, Cam and Sam are headed down to ACO next month to my home state, into my territory, and they're smart enough to not play Age of Sigmar against me.
That's right.
So they're playing Star Wars Legion, which is actually a very fun game. I've actually really enjoyed that game. I can't even say anything bad about Star Wars Legion because I love Star Wars. I've got some Star Wars tattoos, and I love Legion. The only thing I'm not big fan of on Legion is the amount of tokens that you need
A lot of tokens.
and all the little cards that you have to keep track.
The
So
cards you get used to. There's still a lot of tokens.
yeah, and some of the armies just keeps giving you more and more tokens.
His
So
army. He's playing clones.
yep, the
They
clone
share
armies are just
tokens between all the units. Yeah. I need to show you this. So I can be on screen.
Corey is extremely uh, behind his direwolf here. He thinks that direwolf is going to beat those skinks up
That's my
into
carrying
oblivion.
case.
We're now getting a judge call.
No, they usually say if they need to be focused. It doesn't say. So you put it on another thing. But only one model can be affected at a time. Yeah, so I can switch the model that gets affected.
So his blessing of Sotek remains active on that Saurus that he put it on until he casts it again. So it does not have an end duration, but he can only have one blessing at a time. So that was our rules clarification there. It's Corey's turn right now. He's thinking through his charges. He's very confident in his wolf making it into those skinks. And he is debating where that Saurus warrior is that's been buffed. It's getting +1 to hit in combat. So he's now talking it through with his co-team member, possibly assistant Ryan. No. It's a very casual game happening right now. Not not the most competitive, but this is really how you should be playing it. Just amongst friends. No gotchas. Corey is now declaring his charge. The direwolf is declaring a charge into the skinks. The vampire where he's pointing at is going to charge where that Saurus warrior is that he's pointing to. Another direwolf's looking to make a really long charge around that building. So he's got three charges he's going to look at here. He is now measuring. Oh, he's now moving the direwolf. I don't know if there's dice rolls. Maybe I can ask Cam. Are there dice rolls for charges, or you just move?
You have to declare a charge, and you have to hope that you're within double your move.
Okay, apparently if you're within double your move, you can make your charge.
If you have a 4-inch move, if you have to be within 8 inches to make a charge.
Yep.
So it's all.
So there you
So
go.
the game ends, by the way, if one warband routs the other warband.
Okay, so our game will end when one warband has been routed by the other.
You only route if you lose 25% of your army.
So if either of these armies lose 25% of them, then they'll be routed. What happens if they route at the same time?
You can't because you only check at the start of your turn.
Okay, so the check will be done at the start of the turn. So
Chris needs to lose 4 models,
if Chris loses 4 models,
which is a lot.
whew,
And Corey, how many models are in your warband?
3, 6, 8, 9, 10.
So you need to lose 3 models.
so Corey loses 3.
Sorry, you need to lose 4. Corey needs to lose 3. Damn. Okay. Damn.
See that hand on the board? That is Ryan, who has been an absolute professional assistant here for Corey, giving all sorts of advice.
How far do your source move?
And now Corey is determining the moves of his opponent's remaining models because charges happen before movement here. So Corey is wisely asking the movements on his opponent's units so that way he can position his out of charge range if he does not like what he sees. Corey is now moving up some good old zombies up there. We are updating the score to who knows what. 32, 34. Whew. Corey is Corey's in the lead here. Cam, our table boss, the man of lies, the lord of lies, feeding us incorrect scores here.
That guy has the plus one. We're doing that guy. Need a 90. Now combat. No, I know. Yeah. That's fine. I have one.
So the thing to note too
Everyone that charged
is
charged
you
already.
may route, but if you're holding more of the weird stone for this objective, you still win.
We're gonna put all 2 in.
So like if you hold 2 of the 3 objectives and you route, you win.
So another rule here: if you're holding more objectives here at the end of the game, then you win. So there is a scenario in which one of these players is routed, but can still actually win the game because they control more of the weird stones. And I believe there's 3 on the table. There's dice that you can see here. There's one on the center. There's one on the left on top of that structure. And then there's one all the way on the right on top of the structure where Corey was advancing some zombies up in order to get that. Corey's now rolling some dice and he has hit something.
No. So he doesn't get fair? Okay. Cool. 2 hits. I'm strength 4. What's your toughness? I think I need 3s, yeah. Is it a skink? Yeah.
So Corey has 2 hits on the skink. And he's made 2 wounds here. And the OP Scaly Skin of Seraphon, as usual, has saved one of the wounds.
So when you do a wound to a model, then roll again to see what happens to the model. On a one and a two, they're on their back, and then on their turn they just stand straight up. They would skip their return combat and stuff like that. On a three and a four, they're stunned face down, which means on their turn they roll face up, and they're still not allowed to fight. And then the next turn they're just
So
standing.
Cam here will explain what happens in combat for you, our lovely viewers.
Oh, okay. So if a hit is scored and then a wound is scored, you do an injury roll as your wound roll. On a one and a two, the model is placed on their back, and then on their turn they may stand up, they may not charge, and they can only move a normal distance. On a three and a four, they're stunned, which means they're placed face down. In which case, any other model, if they're in combat with them, they can just coup de grace them and just take them out of the game. They also may not fight in combat, and then on their turn they can only roll face up, and then the same rules apply. On a five and a six, if you do a wound and you roll a five and a six, they're out of the game, just out of action. Then after the game, you roll to see what happens to them. So it's not like it's not contained to the game itself. You have to roll after the game. So for heroes, you roll 2d6 and you consult a table and see what happens. On a 1, if you roll 1 for your first thing and up to a 5, so like a 1 and a 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 5, 5. They're dead. Your hero's gone. You got to buy them again. Their experience is lost. All their items are lost. Blah 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 blah. Oh yeah, this is a long campaign style. It's basically like an RPG baked into like Warcry or like a skirmish type game. Yeah. So heroes have a very elaborate table of what happens to them. Sometimes they get sold to pit fights, and you have to literally roll fight combat with that hero against an arena boss. And sometimes you win, you get a lot of gold. Sometimes you die in the pits, or you might lose an arm, or you might lose a leg, or you might lose an eye. And those are permanent debuffs or buffs that you might acquire. But sometimes you get like a fearsome scar, and it prevents people from charging you without doing a leadership check. So it's not all bad, but it can be bad. So henchmen though, the game is your warband is comprised of henchmen or heroes. So you can have up to 6 heroes, and it's dependent on your warband who they are or what they are. So your heroes always roll on that 2d6 chart. The henchmen, if they are quote unquote killed in the battle, on a 1 to 2 they're actually dead. On a 3, 4, 5, 6 they're fine. They come back in the next game. That's just how the game progresses. So like after the game ends, you that's for heroes. So sometimes they'll like drink from a well, and and it's like they get like IBS, or they'll get like food poisoning, and they miss the next X Games or whatever. So
That was our table boss Cam, who will also be joining us this weekend for the Age of Sigmar GT here. I am excited now to try Mordheim when I get back after this weekend. So we'll get some updates on the combat here shortly, see if anything actually has been removed or not. Corey has stunned one and knocked down another, but nothing has been removed. So Chris is now getting his attacks back.
He's got a melee attack and a bite.
He's got a melee attack and a bite because Seraphon, strong as ever, always OP,
Still
scaly skin,
is
bites. They just got everything.
scaly skin roll. Still in this game.
He's even got blessings, javelins. So a whole lot of nothing happening here on Chris's swing back. So So Corey here now remembering that he instills fear because he's an undead faction here, but the cold-blooded Seraphon, ignoring rules as always, wouldn't even matter.
So my knight causes fear. He's gonna shoot some wound. Can I shoot recover again? But also my knight also skips every 6 games because 1 in 6 games because I'm a one
Now
hit.
Chris asking a couple of rules questions about whether he can move and shoot the zombies on top. Our second table boss, Sam Gould, an absolute legend of the wargaming world. He knows it. We know it.
I'm yes. So I didn't bring them with me, but hold on.
Corey is apparently planning to be playing Mordheim all night, but I don't think he'll be able to find an opponent for that because most of the folks here do have obligations in the morning.
Oh, he's gonna charge. Hold on. He's gonna charge. So he can go at 8. Yeah. Do I get a bonus on
So
that?
here we go. Chris charging in. Really wants that wolf dead.
All right. These guys gonna move.
But will Skinks be able to do it? Normally I'd say no, but they are Seraphon. Now we have a question of being able to jump building to building, but it can only be a max of 3 inches.
It's a weird warband because it's like basically like it's basically like Empire
I have noticed that Chris might actually have a slight advantage here,
but also like
and he doesn't even know it. But
X
Chris is playing with the shoes off, so he is getting a comfort advantage. Although Corey might just drop his shorts and out comfort him.
I can't jump that. That's more than 3 inches. We kept it to like the first 3 whatever they bracketed it at.
Oh, he's going for the jump,
They're like what did I roll? 6? Yeah. It's
and he is
generally
and he has now fallen.
it's like close enough. Yeah.
And he's now going to take hits equal to the height here. So he's taking D3 hits here.
There's no Blood Bowl tournament here. I can't believe like there's enough support. What?
So he's now taking 2 hits off of this fall.
It's weird because
The hits are equal to the distance he fell, which is 3. Sam has rolled a dice, and this Poor guy is fine. Much to Corey's disappointment here. Corey's now challenging the validity of the 3 inches.
Well, yeah, sure, but like it could have been soccer themed, like British football or whatever. Yeah, but it's like I mean, American football is just
Chris
way more
confident that he has 30 inches. Corey is not so sure. There is barely an awning on this building that is allowing that skink to make it. So that skink has barely made it onto that building.
that's kind of how well the way we're working with this just get 5 games in a shooting period. You don't have to get 5 games in, but like you're allowed to miss 5 games worth of progress.
And he is now moving to claim the weird stone. The weird stone.
Well, so as long as you keep a cap on the amount of games, and then they still have a built-in mechanic where it's like warband rating.
Apparently, there is some debate if there's any more charges, but we are now moving to shooting here. You cannot shoot when you're in combat, so all of the skinks with the wolf are not getting any shooting.
Yeah, well, like so there is still just the element of like yeah, you and you never lose a hero. Like whatever you recover it every time. Yeah, like my last game I played,
We have a weird stone captured by the skink.
um, yeah, like my last game I played or last session I played 2 games. Oh yeah, I played 3 games.
So,
My knight on foot,
three little hunchbacks of Corey's list are going to go fight that skink.
he then died again. And I'm like, great.
You can also find hunchbacks after round 5 of any GT, whether it be 40k, AOS. There are numerous hunchbacks at the end of 5 rounds.
Well, yeah. All right, so we got okay, cool. I lost 200
We have some
pounds
real
on
serious breathing exercise on Corey's side. He's ready for this combat.
I just kept playing as Wireless or my first like
Can Chris's no shoes comfort strat overcome the breathing exercises and Jameson of Corey's side?
well so
Now, our table boss Sam Gould is standing on Corey's side. Could that be personal bias? I don't know.
I'm gonna buy the horse back and I put barding on it because like now that he's on a 2-up armor save, before that, and then on top of that, like
We
after
have leadership checks happening first because there's fear checks that have to be passed.
and he died because I like 3 up and 5. And I was like, not again. Like this is insurance. It's insurance. He'll be proud. I won't have to invest in him again, and I won't lose money.
The dire wolf is out of action. Oh no. That was Mike Maccabee's dire wolf there, who's also in competition for best Asian this weekend in our AOS event.
You can board it so that like no matter what happens, people will you're not losing money. So like, yeah, I mean, I lost my entire warband, like, 'cause that can happen. Like, you can just like lose everything, right? And it's like, okay, well, it's like you could put out soul, right? But like,
So that was the only charge of that turn.
reset buttons, right? So you
So
could do something like
Corey is
that.
going to be able to swing back first here with his Vampire Lord. Looking to swing there. We have a critical hit from the Vampire Lord. A crit hit. Sam Gould has now shifted to the other side table to check the rules. Oh, we have. He has slashed him, which ignores the scaly skin, and we're straight to an injury roll here. And it looks like he only knocked him down. Chris now swinging back with his models that have not charged. And Chris is absolutely whiffed. The comfort strat has not worked out for him with the shoeless. Oh, he thinks he killed the wolf, but we are now taking a break here. Took the dire wolf to the cleaners. So we will be on a likely short break here. Looks like after Corey lost his wolf, he needed to take a break. Tactical pee break in the middle of this Mordheim game. We will be back shortly. And we are back. The piss break is over. Corey has returned to the table. And I will be likely turning over the mic soon to Table Boss Cam to finish out this extraordinary game of Wartime. So rules question has come up. The vampire that knocked down the Saurus, if he's still in combat or not. And the answer is yes. He's still in combat with a knockdown Saurus because Seraphon is so strong they prevent you from moving even when they're knocked down. And I will be passing it off now to the legendary Table Boss Cam, who's full goblin mode over here. Take the cam, and I will see you all tomorrow
For actual commentary.
or just on the replay of the streams found here on the Wicked Dicey channel. Have a good night.
Thank you, Emma. God bless. Godspeed. Uh, dice down for God. Dice up for Jesus. Only sixes. All right, what's going on the table, boys? You can charge up things. You would need to make an initiative check to and the distance. So like if you're where are you here? So you are within the distance. You'd have to roll an initiative check. So you're um it, is that initiative of 1?
Yeah, for Saurus.
So you'd what? So yeah, you would have to. I don't think you could even do that. You'd have to roll 1. You'd have to roll a 1.
Casting value 9.
That's not good.
Combat charges first, right? So we'll start with Simon Zahavi. Weapon skill 2. What's your weapon skill? On the skink. 2. 2, so 4s, right? Yep. Nope, 9 full. The other one. Is that going to bed or something?
Yeah.
Next one, also a 4. Yes.
Good night.
Strength 3.
Toughness 2.
Toughness 2, so 3s. Right? Is that right?
What's up?
Strength 3, toughness 2.
So you'd be on 3s.
3s.
5.
Hits.
6 up scale skin. Nothing.
Injury roll.
Injury roll. 1.
Knocked face up.
He's already face down.
Oh, then if he's face down, he's just dead.
No, you're attacking this guy.
Oh, sorry, not face down. Yep, sorry. Yep. Now the next guy. Yeah, and the third guy.
3.
3 misses. Alright. Now initiative stack. My vampire.
Yeah, your vampire wins on that. I'm face up. I should probably kill him anyways.
I think that. Yeah.
One hit.
Weapon skill 4.
Weapon skill 3.
Yep. So, 1 hit.
Don't do that.
Critical. Critical hit. Baby.
Alright, roll a d6.
Injury. Is he face up or face down?
That's what you see.
Critical hit. You gotta roll a critical hit. Sure.
What's the
Ryan shoutcast?
The vampire has a crit.
He's sliced. The strike
The
ignores
skink
causes 2 wounds and add 2 to your injury rolls.
has sliced through
Two dice.
and double wounded and double injured
Add 2 to
and
both.
put him completely out of misery. He is rolled an 8, folks. You can't get any higher than that. Praise be unto Corn. Everyone loves an 8.
My vampire.
That will be some experience for that vampire. We'll see what will happen to the skink after the game.
And then the
vampire is probably the best single model in the original.
spike goes down. Weapon skill 3. What's your weapon skill? 3, so 4s.
Now the direwolf Spike has bit at the Source Warrior and failed to wound, but had connected. In retaliation, here comes Source Warrior.
Source Warrior's gonna make whack him, alright? I'm gonna need 4.
He brings the club in with a whiff, but he tries to bite, and he also misses.
Alright, take this dice, throw it out.
There are no other combats right now. It looks like the undead have one weird stone in their hands by the dregs.
So he's
Although they are under
Does that mean
potential assault from the
was
Saurus
he face down or face up? Sorry.
underneath, face up. It was a 1 on the result.
the stone?
So,
So he still has the stone. I don't take the stone from him.
yeah, because he's still there.
Alright, I'm gonna
But he will have to recover. No, because you have to recover.
Yeah. So you stand back up now. Can he do anything or no?
Nope.
No.
So all he can do is recover.
stone or
You can recover over there as well,
Yep.
Your boy can try to charge.
and over here.
Charge.
And then you declare charges.
I want. Oh, I gotta recover this guy.
hmm
But
I feel like we need tokens for Chris.
The source.
There was definitely some things on their face.
No, I was paying attention.
You got it. Yeah.
Yeah,
on their backs.
that was a 1 over here. That was over there from last turn. That was over there from last turn. That was definitely a 1. All right, now the charges need to be declared. So the source guard is trying to bring up
Where's that dice?
the rear. See if we can get Chris to break some lights and cameras over here while searching for the mysterious die of the rolls of ones. Ouch.
4 nice dice.
Well, they already got the where?
Right here.
Alright. And then probably one more here. I don't think they can. Alright. To roll a
The Saurus guard will come up and try to climb the wall to protect.
He's a dick.
He gets a firm hold but slips and cannot retrieve. He falls down and hurts himself. And he, he needs 5 to wounds or fives. Oh, and takes no damage. But he is, if I believe, knocked face up.
I'm gonna try to get that skink up there too. If they don't, I'm gonna roll that charge.
Yeah, he needs it. No, you can't because you got to be in base contact to climb.
So what
That
team are you
works.
on?
You need a 4 below. He,
Got it.
So is your distance, your move half distance climbing up when there's more than one?
yeah, you're fine.
They're better than gold.
Whoop.
Put them right there.
Yeah, it's where you go.
I'm gonna charge one of those guys.
He'll get in there.
I'm gonna charge.
If you really want to, you can technically declare 2
I'm gonna
here.
charge, right?
Do you want to be in 2 or 1?
I'm gonna charge this
I
skink in.
Well, there he goes.
Who knows?
Let him learn.
If I charge this guy and he's face to contact with him, then
So like he can't charge anyone because he can't see him.
I can't see him.
No, the walls are mean.
Yep.
Even with the Saurus,
The source can charge people.
I'm gonna charge the Saurus.
Go for it. What's
The
the move?
source tries to move 8.
Yeah, okay.
He's 8.335 away easily. He just gets hungry. He misses. He snaps at the air.
Beat the shit out of that source.
The vampire lord goes, I'm going to beat the shit out of that source next.
Can I?
No, you can't pre-measure anything.
Any other charges?
No, no more charges.
And now he can move.
I'm gonna stop drinking.
Then we're gonna move the
The
skink.
Yeah.
other players decided to stop drinking. Jealous of your.
You should give that to him.
Hey, I'm just confirming this, Brian. That's a legal move.
Sure.
I mean, it's not. I'm not. That's not how this game works.
All right.
Your deployment
Is he
is pretty
technically
easy.
covered? Hold on.
Free breakfast is starting at 7.
I'm not. That's not. You guys have to declare that stuff. That's part of this game.
Hey,
What's
Mr.
happening?
Mr. Corey, is this guy partially covered?
Yes. I was gonna say yes to that.
Sam, is he partially covered?
From where?
From this guy.
Why? No, they're supposed to. I mean, they're supposed to figure this out. It's a gentleman's game.
Perfect.
You need to figure this out between each other.
It's 2 scenes.
That's right.
So hold on. Before I do that, I'm gonna move that. I'm just gonna move him an inch this way.
I'll give you -1 to hit because he moved.
Yeah.
He's not gonna move.
All right. Sure. Hit your own dude. That's fine.
All right. Then I'm gonna cast.
Moving is the right answer. No, it's not. Hitting your guy is the right answer. Yeah. It's way
Because
more fun.
Mordheim.
Yeah, I forgot.
Mordheim is the right answer.
No.
Actually, my move is moving. Corey's right. All right. Now I'm gonna cast bless onto this this dude.
I'm gonna deny it. I'm at 12.
I'm gonna get that on 8. So I roll d6 on the table.
Why is my
Wow.
I roll 1, so he's getting +1 to hit on his weapon skill.
Alright, well.
Wow.
All right, we're
He
gonna.
blesses the Source Warrior again.
Am I gonna lose Fluffy and Spike?
No. They'll just whiff.
All right, I'm throwing
Are they dead already?
this javelin on the 5 up.
Spike's dead.
Into
The
vampire
vampire
lord.
What's
5 up?
happening?
Nope.
Suck a dick.
All right,
Wait,
this one
hold
is
up.
4 up.
What's happening?
It wasn't a 4.
Alright, yeah.
It wasn't a 4, so it didn't hit the other guy.
So he gets it.
Yeah.
Yep.
What do I do next?
You roll a wound. You roll a wound. Your strength 3 probably. That's definitely not a wound.
Not gonna do shit.
Nope.
Yeah, strength 3.
Yeah.
Oh.
Toughness. Big dick.
All right, then this guy's gonna throw a jav.
Yeah. Well, that's not it. That's also not it.
9.
He stabbed himself in the foot with that one.
Yep. Combats. Combats.
Goes in.
Who charge goes first?
So this guy is gonna attack into here.
You're spears, right? I have spears, yep, so I can strike first.
Oh my
Eat a dick! Alright, that's Mordecai.
Mordecai, ready for the charge, wields his spear, comes in hot with a 5 if that connects, and another 4 that wounds. The scaly skin is not
It's in.
ready to be pierced and reflects that wound.
All right.
Yes.
And now we go into the initiative step.
There are no other spears, so the charging units now move first.
No, so that was a charge into
That was a spear.
Yeah, they all have spears.
They didn't get charged though.
Yeah.
Only him,
Yeah, so now we go initiative, right?
which means it's him.
Oh, okay. Strike first.
That's right.
Skill 2, so I need to roll
Initiative.
4.
Five, 4 or 5.
What's your weapon skill?
2.
Roll high. Roll high.
5, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Weapon
Oh
skill.
yeah, yeah.
I roll a 5 anyways.
Either way works. Nope.
Nothing. Fucking hell.
Dude. Vamps, no.
Nobody else charged.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mordecai and so now Simon Zahavi next. Connects.
Simon
Misses.
wounds. No, that's a wound.
No,
That's a
strength
strength.
three, your T2, yeah.
That's a wound. Scaly skin to see if he saves his hide. Once again, it does not. And that skink
Six.
is
Get
out of combat. Bow, 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 bow.
Again, or is he out of combat?
We'll see what happens later.
Abraham is not in combat anymore.
No, that's right.
Abraham takes the warp stone.
You gotta move.
Abraham's touching it.
You didn't move.
All right. Oh,
It says you have to move.
Abraham's done. So now we go initiative stack or what? All right. We go Spike.
Initiative. Who is initiative over here?
So
You. So Spike the dog
Yeah,
against
because-
Source Warrior. Spike is
because
fast. He
Count
goes to
Jedediah
snap.
Von Schwartz is out of combat.
There you go.
So we would go to Spike next. Spike the puppy. With a weapon skill of 3.
He
into
needs a
weapon skill
4.
of 3. We're looking for a 4 here. We hit.
Wow.
Strength 4.
The Team America dice are working not so great.
I'm gonna make wacky now.
He's gonna make chicken him.
Hit, so I need to hit on 3s now.
All right.
So 3s.
He's blessed, so he needs a 3. That's a wound. There's no save. Roll an injury. It's a 4. He's on his belly.
And then he's gonna go bite you.
Brom, brom.
I'm gonna bite you now.
It's at the same time, I believe.
Undead, yeah. So what's
That's a
Sunda's
hit.
face down?
That's
Face
not a
down,
wound.
Treat that as face up, I think. Yes. He's not face up instead. So he's face up instead.
Oh, because he's got the thick skull. He doesn't feel it that much.
I think so. Double check that. That's right.
Yeah, you're right. That's why they're slow.
All right, what do we got? What's next?
That's
all?
it. That's it. Now it's the undead turn.
So I gotta kill
So
one more
first he
auto
does
weapon.
is recovers.
You kill 2 more.
He stands up. He's got to be in base just like he was.
You have to kill 4.
I thought it was 3.
4.
4
You
or
were
3.
3. I'm 4. You're 3.
Oh, because I have more.
I have 12.
Mm-hmm.
So I gotta kill one more dude. Hell yeah. Or we're gonna beat the shit out of you.
I know. That's the funny thing.
Yeah, you can die as hard as you want. As Source.
Charges? Probably vampire into a skink.
He's hurting, or you could just try to be a bully.
Do I get a new one or?
No.
Yeah, probably yeah. So charge.
Or you could try to get up here if you want to try to get that word. I would do that.
What do I need to
Roll a 2. Use initiative 4. Yeah. That's the best play. If the vampire wants money, then he would go after that skink.
So do I roll that now or when in movement? Are you charging? I'm gonna charge, yeah. Declare charge with the vampire on the skink because fuck it. Heyo! No.
That's perfect. That's exactly what you want.
Oh hell.
That's right.
Got it. Now he's fighting there. That's beautiful.
Any other charges did you want?
We're gonna
One
have
of
the
these
dragon
guys?
Charge here.
Yeah, they both just charge.
There.
So that's moving and collecting.
Yeah.
Or you could have charged down if you wanted to do the jump down. It's so badass if you jump down. You hurt him so hard. You would kill him like so bad.
Oh yeah, we're gonna charge. Yeah. One down. Do I need to roll for that?
Yeah, you gotta roll. You gotta roll initiative. He's diving down. Hold on. The man with the word stone is gonna try to dive down.
Waxed by that fucking sword is what he's getting above.
That's Abraham Rosenbaum.
Oh, Rosa dive bomb. He does it. He's got initiative 3.
On the top rope!
I know. He's just gonna run.
And then you can move them.
And Ron Rosen pile drives with a spear straight down onto the Sword Warrior. The game's done when you route, folks. Once you lose enough models in Mordheim, you have to take a route check. It's a quarter of your models, and once you do, then you will suffer the consequences of your out of action models. So right now, Corey and Chris are now negotiating who will die, but unfortunately in Mordheim it does say that you must fight if you are in combat. It is not an option to forsake fighting.
Combat charges first. Go with Necromancer.
Necro goes first because he charged Vampire Lord over here, fighting that skink.
Two hits.
One hit with his sword, and that is a wound. He gets a scaly skin to shrug off. He gets a one and goes through, folks, and he is out of action. However, he did not move onto that word stone, so it is still in play.
So Vampire gets two things so far, right?
Giuseppe died. You killed Giuseppe.
The next charge is
Abraham.
or up here.
Oh yeah, I want to do Abraham.
Abraham from the top rope. Dive bomb coming down. +1 to hit because he jumped down. That is a 2. He is a weapon skill 3 versus a weapon skill 3, but he's down. Doesn't matter. No. No. You only have one attack.
So cool. Then let's see what we got.
And the other charge at the skink up top,
Simon Zahavi.
Zahavi. He comes in. He misses. And then the
Mordecai Lichtman.
and then Lickman is first skink killer, misses as well, and the skinks come back in return.
No,
You got no
no,
one
that's
skink.
initiative now, right?
No, you did that one too. That was your first one. So skink or Saurus. Oh, actually, it's this one, right? Because that's yeah, it's skink.
I'm gonna attack this.
That was unfortunate, but that's okay.
That's what happens when you have 5 dice. No.
No.
And then over here, the Barky, over here, the dire wolf. Spike, he snaps at him.
Weapon skill 3.
He needs a 4 to bite the sores. It is a 4.
4.
He rolls to wound. It is a failure.
Failure.
The Source Warrior bites back.
Source Warrior needs to stay alive.
Let's club him.
He's gonna club the.
He has to start.
He hits.
Hits, yeah.
He wounds.
He wounds.
He's got nothing. He out of action or just another shrug. Oh, he's fine. Wow, 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 wow.
He's gonna bite.
Yeah, he hits. He fails to wound. They can. You only have one guy in action. You've got half your guys doing nothing. Yeah.
He's running away like the Italian he is. So now we go into the
So we're gonna go to the post game, right?
post game. Post game rolls.
All right. So I lost. One of my guys died. So I'm
Wait,
out.
player, you're done. Hello, hello, testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. We on? We good? What do we say?
Whatever you want, man.
Hi, my name's Corey.
How do you feel this game went for you?
I had no clue what I was doing at any point in time, but I think I won.
Who is this vampire?
That is my vampire lord is Count Jedediah von Schwartz.
If you had to rate Jedediah,
Jedediah absolutely was the MVP of the match.
MVP. I
Killed
agree.
2 skinks, I think. No, a source and a skink.
That's killing the source. Is no.
I-
What was the final score?
I have I think what 3 warpstone.
You didn't get this one because you never got.
Oh, because he voluntarily routed. Yes, I have 2 out of 3 warpstone.
Out of 3 warps.
Yeah.
That's, we have Chris at 23 and you at 18.
he voluntarily routed? We didn't. We didn't score me. I think. Yeah. Lorraine probably was not the MVP at all by any measure. Lorraine is my
What was the
necromancer.
real score?
I have, I don't know, two out of I held one always. He got one, and then he got two, and then I got one. How does this game work?
Why
Um,
weird stone did you hold?
Was the victory condition was Chris routed, so Corey won.
Now I want to hear you guys. I want to hear what heroes and henchmen die.
Let's
um,
figure that out.
I lost. I lost Fluffy.
Let's hear
Rolls
about.
first. Did you lose Fluffy?
Fluffy died.
He was taken out of action.
Taken out of action.
Roll a die to see
TOA.
if he died.
TOA. What do I need to roll for Fluffy not to die?
3 or higher
So I need a 1 or 2 for Fluffy to live.
to die. 3 or higher, he lives.
Oh, kiss it.
You gotta roll 3 up.
And just kiss that one.
Fluffy lives.
Fluffy
You
lives.
know what? I was expecting the 1 because every single fucking time.
Alright,
Alright.
Fluffy
one of these
lives.
skinks are taken out of action. The other
1
one's
sec.
alive.
Let me finish my. We going to Chris now? Back to over to Chris.
I'm not doing the interview.
No, Chris, you're on. Let's do the injury rolls for the
Chris, you're MVP of the match.
What did
My MVP of the match was the source that clubs Fluffy.
Club and dogs is your MVP?
Yes.
Alright. So who died?
So I had
Or
a.
was taken out of action?
I think I had a skink die and a source die. I know that I had one.
And one more skink on the top. Was your great crest even?
No, it was not. My great crests were down here. I had 2 great crests down here. So this one is out of action, so he needs to roll what, a 3 or higher to survive?
Is it a henchman skink?
Yeah,
3 or higher. He's alive.
he's alive.
Next skink.
He was dead.
Yep. So he needs to roll same thing. 3 or higher. To
Oh,
survive.
really?
Everyone.
He's dead.
You lost the skink.
And then the source died because of a critical.
Yep. Same thing. You got to roll 3 or higher for him to go. There, no one dies on the table. They're just taken out of action. So these 2 are dead.
Yep.
So you got to mark that on your warband. You lost a source and the skink from your henchman groups. So who was this?
That was Donnie. No, Giuseppe.
Giuseppe's. Giuseppe is no more. And one of your henchman group there, you had a group of 4.
4. Yep.
Now there are 3.
Yep.
2 casualties for the lizard men.
Nah.
It's a rough fight. How you feeling?
Kind of bad.
Yeah.
We're gonna lick our wounds, buy some more men.
You should lick your cloaca.
I don't get paid enough for this.
Coming in with a dinosaur pack. I guess bird pack. Now we roll treasures.
Yes.
How
let's
does
do
treasure
some
work?
Exploration rolls.
Okay.
All right. Starting with.
I'm gonna borrow a blood knight from Michael tomorrow.
What do you
What do I do?
have for surviving heroes?
All of them. I have a necromancer.
Give me a number.
What does that mean?
2. You have 2 surviving heroes.
No, I have 5 surviving heroes.
Why? Are all those guys
My
heroes?
character heroes too, yeah.
What?
3
5
drakes.
surviving heroes,
Yep.
and you were the winning warband, so you roll an extra die, so 6 total.
And I got 4 surviving heroes.
6. Yep. 6.
I roll. That's an incredible roll, actually. 22. But 4 5s is insane.
So you get 22.
Uh-huh.
So 22 gets you 4 shards of weird stone, plus the 2 extra that you picked up in the game. So you're getting 6 shards of weird stone total.
I get only 4 dice.
4 dice for Chris here from the lizard men.
That's pretty good.
Sixes. So you're getting 18. So you will get just over the threshold there. So you will get 4
As well?
4 shards of weird stone as well, and no bonus from the extra. So
Yep.
4 for Chris, 6 for.
What does the weird stone correlate to?
But before we get to selling your weird stone, we got some multiples here in these exploration rolls. So Chris, you roll 2 6s. You find a ruined hovel and get d6 extra gold.
D6 extra gold. Alright.
The street consists of ruined hovels.
6 extra gold?
You get 6 extra gold. There you go. You rolled 4 5s.
Yep.
I rarely get to look at these.
Very exciting. I don't even know what most of these are. I'm gonna get my nightmare tonight, am I?
You find a graveyard.
You have 4 heroes,
I have 5 heroes.
and you rolled 4 5s.
Any ones. We rolled 6 dice and we got 4 5s and 2 1s.
A graveyard fits him.
You find a graveyard. Any warband apart from witch hunters and sigils of sycamore may loot the crypts and graves and get. And just anything about dead.
D6 times 10 gold.
I'm gonna say you can raise a corpse from the grave and get an extra zombie in your warband.
What was the roll thing?
D6 times 10 gold or that.
Or roll. What was the second thing?
It's D6 times 10 gold worth of loot if you want to loot.
Or what?
Or
Get an extra member of the warband because you're at max valiant, right?
witch hunters and scissors.
Yeah, you can't have above 12.
Yeah, so you could, yeah.
Take a zombie or loot the graves.
Zombies are cheap, I think, right?
No, because they're like 25
No, I
gold or
think
something.
zombies are 15.
They're 20.
I think zombies are 15.
Either way.
So
Take the
yeah,
extra gold.
you can choose 2d6. Is it 2d6?
D6 times 10.
Oh, well then you can roll the slot machine, baby.
Take the zombie.
So when I get 10, anything other than a 10, I end
And
up.
a 1.
Anything other than a 1, yeah, I'm rolling.
Let's see that 1, baby.
I'm gonna hate myself.
Is
Let's go!
it 6?
Yeah.
He sends his zombies in to loot the
Is it
corpses.
60 gold?
60 gold.
Plus whatever you got?
Plus whatever you get. All right, now let's get
Jesus.
to. Don't mark that down yet. You're gonna have some more. So, Chris, you ended 4 weird stone shards. How many members do you have in your warband?
After I died,
Remaining or
Yeah. How many did you start with?
12.
do I need to roll for
You
this guy
lost
that
2,
was knocked
still
down?
10. So you get 65 gold.
Number of slots.
You have 4 weird stone shards to sell. You have 10 members in your words. 65 gold.
Okay.
No, the guy that was knocked down. Okay.
So I got 72.
You had 6 weird stone shards. And how many members in your warband?
3, 6, 8, 9, 10.
10.
How much gold did I have remaining from the previous bout before?
Nothing you spent.
Corey, not including dead.
So I can literally rebuy my dead guys.
You get 90 gold.
90 gold.
Plus the 60 other. 150 gold.
Is Colin playing tomorrow? Colin? Colin.
CULL.
Aria?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
What is he
Yeah.
playing? He's playing Fact?
Yeah.
210 total.
Because you had
The 6. Times 10.
6 from one.
From the looting the graves.
Well, no, it's 100 gold plus the 60.
Wait, so 90 plus
90
60?
plus 60.
Oh, so 150. Okay, gotcha.
150, which is insane.
My employer's coffers are as deep as depth is long.
Yeah, he has to find it.
Somebody should find me an
I will find it for you.
This guy.
I'm good at finding things.
You want to do another game of Mordheim?
Right now.
I'm not ready to go to bed.
I'm tempted to stay up too.
I'll play one more game.
No, no,
Or I'll commentate a game.
no.
We going to bed?
Are you guys all in the
It's
same room?
almost 1.
Yeah, it's probably
3
bedtime.
people playing boards.
Really?
John.
Alright.
All right, sign
I'm-
off. Say something cute.
Alright, thank you guys for stopping by for the Wicked Dicey Mordheim late night, midnight Mordheim. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, share with your friends, come back. We're always here.
Good night.